Hi everyone, I'm reporting from my hospital bed here. Not very ideal. I wish I was at home. But who knew that a trip to Ireland would end with me having a surgery and going to the ER at the hospital? I'll explain all of that in this video. I'm not going to be able to do my regular videos for a while because I'm going to be laid up at home. I'm actually in some pain right now, probably on a scale from 1 to 10, I'd say it's at an 8. It all started. It all started when my husband and I went to Ireland. We returned. We had a great trip, 7 days. And then a day later, I got sick. It started with a sore throat and vomiting. And I'm like, great, I picked up a virus in Ireland, which is pretty common when you travel. You can get viruses on airplanes or foreign countries. Your body is just not used to different kinds of viruses. You could be getting them on a subway. We took all kinds of modes of transportation, to say the least. So I picked up a virus somewhere. My husband did not get sick at all. So he's in a touring band and travels. So I'm guessing that's why his body is more immune to strange viruses. So I get home. I'm sick, really sick, for 5 weeks. And I just thought I had a really bad cold, which was turning into bronchitis, possibly pneumonia. And I went to the prompt care. I had a fever. I was still vomiting, and then developed a really, really bad cough. So I went to the prompt care. They did an x-ray of my chest, my lungs, and they didn't see anything. They sent me on my way. If I am remembering correctly, I can't really remember what happened after the first visit to the prompt care. So I'm at home, I'm eating popsicles. I took a couple of days off of work, and then I went back to work. Fast forward to week 5, and I go into work. I woke up that morning, which was actually my birthday, June 23rd, and it was the first time that I had slept in my actual bed because I had been sleeping on the couch the entire time with this cold so that I could keep my head and chest elevated so I wasn't coughing so much at night. And I slept in my bed, which felt great. And then I woke up on my birthday and I didn't cough. I thought it was a birthday miracle, the greatest gift ever. So usually every morning when I wake up, that was the first thing that I would do. In fact, I would also have coughing fits throughout the evening that would wake me up in the middle of the night at 3 in the morning, and I'd be up for a couple of hours and still go to work. So I was feeling pretty run down and tired. So I took my shower. I drove into work. My coworker said, "Happy birthday." And she said, "It sucks you have to work." And I said, "Yeah, but I'm feeling a little bit better." Well, I guess I jinxed myself because about 10 minutes later, I was feeling awful. It was just like my body took a turn for the worse. And I actually went into the bathroom and my chest was feeling constricted. I started feeling clammy and nauseous. So I told my coworkers I did not feel well. I was having pain on the side, on my side. I had been having pain on my side for a couple of weeks, and I thought it was just from all the coughing. You know, it's pretty violent when you cough sometimes, and there's a word that when you pull a muscle in your side starts with an M. I think I can't remember what it's called exactly. Anyway, I was having pain in my side, and also in my back. It traveled up to my back and my shoulder. So it was really weird because the pain started traveling to other parts of my body, but it started in my side. So I left work on my birthday, went back to the prompt care. Actually, my coworkers were urging me to go to the prompt care. So I went back and they said that they didn't want to take another x ray because they wanted me to go to the emergency room since I was having chest pains. So I drove to the emergency room. They asked me if I could drive and everything, and I said yes. And actually, when I was at the prompt care, I got sick. Luckily, I made it to the bathroom, but I got sick there again. And so then I drove to the emergency room, and they came and got me right away. Two young men checked me in, took my vitals, and they whisked me off to the ER department area where there are all these beds with like curtains around them. It's kind of like a holding area for ER patients until they can get put in a room, I guess. And that's where I stayed from 10 a.m. in the morning until 10 p.m. that night before I got my own room. So I was there for 12 hours. During that time, I had a multitude of people coming in to talk to me, to ask me questions, and to take blood and start an IV and, do all these tests and stuff, trying to figure out what's going on. It seemed like there was just one person after another coming in nonstop every 5 minutes. They had a whole team of doctors, and each one came in individually, and they all asked me the same questions. Where's your pain? When did this start? How long were you traveling? Where did you go? All, I don't even remember. Everything's kind of foggy at this point. It's just been such a nightmare, an ongoing 5 week nightmare. They took an X-ray, and they found that I had pneumonia in my right lung. So, I kind of thought that all along, but the prompt care never found it. I asked the doctor why they wouldn't have noticed, and they said, well, it's kind of subtle. Well, it doesn't seem real subtle because the symptoms are certainly there. I've been coughing up a lung, as they say, for weeks. And there's a lot of unpleasantness, such as phlegm and whatnot. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. When they did they took me to do a, what's it called? CT. Well, they did do a CT scan and the X-ray, and they just happened to notice on the top of my gallbladder that something did not look right. So they wanted to do more tests on that. I can't remember if it was a sonogram that they did on my gallbladder or an ultrasound. I think it was a sonogram, if I remember. Anyway, I've had so many tests, I can't keep them all straight. They ended up finding that I had gallstones. And one of those gallstones had escaped and left the gallbladder and traveled down my bile duct and got lodged. It was causing a blockage, which would then explain the vomiting. I knew there was something else going on here because it just seems so unusual to be vomiting 5 weeks later when you have a cold. Usually that goes away after a few days. So, by a fluke, they ended up finding this other problem in my body. And I'm glad that they did. Maybe it's all a blessing in disguise. So then, the next day, after I was admitted to my room, they had to do a procedure on me where they put me under with anesthesia and they put a scope down my throat and dislodged the blockage. Then, after that procedure, the following day, which was yesterday, I had surgery to remove my gallbladder. And that went well, thank goodness. I had 5 incisions on my stomach area, and that's why I'm in a lot of pain right now. So I have an ice pack on my stomach right now, and I'm actually getting discharged from the hospital in about 1 hour after my last IV. Where is it? Up there. Medicine. After that last IV goes through of medicine, an antibiotic. They pumped me so full of antibiotics to get rid of the pneumonia and everything. My husband's coming to pick me up. I'll be off work for a while, sitting at home watching YouTube, bored out of my brains, eating a light diet because I'm scared about how everything's going to go now that I don't have a gallbladder. The way I understand it, the gallbladder filters out toxins and stuff after you eat. It's kind of like the garbage can. The liver filters out stuff, but then the gallbladder handles some of the bile. I know that sounds gross. And this is the first time I've ever had a surgery, the first time I've ever stayed in a hospital. And now I'm leaving the hospital missing an organ. It just seems very unnatural to not have an organ, something that you're born with, something that you were designed to have that does a job. And it seems very weird to be missing it. But they said, the doctors told me, that if they didn't remove it, there was a 50% chance that it would happen again. And I don't want to come back. So go ahead, take it. Be gone, gallbladder, be gone. They did give me some oxycodone and Tylenol yesterday. That helped. I have to go pick up a prescription after I leave here. My husband's going to take me. He'll take good care of me. Sorry. And yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an update because I probably won't be doing any videos for a little bit. I might have my mom come over and we could do some more of the addressing your comments type of video because that won't require me to move around very much. Sorry for the unflattering appearance, but I've been laying in this bed for 4 days now, so thank you for understanding, and we will hopefully get back on our feet soon and be making some more videos for you. Oh, and here I'm going to share the view of my window. This is what my view is from my hospital bed. It's a parking deck. And up here on the little sign has information. The doctor drew this little diagram. The L is my liver, the S is my stomach. The little thing underneath the liver to the left is my gallbladder, where they removed it. Down at the end of the stick on the liver is the bile duct, and they put a stent in there. And I have to get that checked out again in 4 or 5 months. And then at that time, they will either remove it permanently or replace it, depending on how well it's working. To the right of the stent is my pancreas, those little dashed lines. And there's also a stent there, but that one will leave by itself. Sorry, the nurse just came in. Okay, here's the pain scale. I can't read it because I don't have my glasses on. Well, I can kind of. But I'd say I'm at an 8 right now. Hurts a whole lot. When I came in with my side pain, I was at a 10. Actually, I'll just say I'm at a 10 right now, too. I think this is the worst pain I've ever had in my life. My stepsister brought me in these lovely flowers. That made me really happy. Sunflowers and yellow roses and some white flowers. Very beautiful. I wanted to show you the rest of my beautiful flowers that I got. My friend Linda brought these over to me today. So sweet of her. They're adorable and they smell really good. And then my stepmom brought me this beautiful big bouquet of flowers yesterday. So I really appreciate that. Very kind gestures that give you a little pickup when you're feeling down. I love the purple and red mixed together. Goodbye, hospital room. I can't say that I'm going to miss you. This is the chair where my mom camped out until 10 p.m. every night that I was here. Except she didn't come today because I told her I was getting discharged. I had lots of visitors, my husband, my cousins, my aunt, lots of love. And now it's time to go home and rest. I'm at home now, resting and healing after my 4-night stay at the hospital. And I normally wouldn't do a video of something personal, such as a hospital stay, but the reason I did is because I figure it might help somebody else. Maybe you're having similar symptoms. Maybe you're having pain in your side and you think it's just a cold from coughing. But I'd say go ahead and get checked out. Don't put it off. Get an x-ray, get a scan, make sure it's not something more. I had no clue that this was going on inside my body, and I'm so glad and feel fortunate. It's a blessing in disguise that I went in for one thing and they found the other thing. So now everything's been repaired, discovered, and I can be on the mend. I'm really happy about that. So hopefully in a couple of weeks I'll be back to normal. And until then, take care. And my mom and I will probably be doing another video where we address your comments, maybe tomorrow, and I'll get that posted real soon. So stay tuned. Thank you so much, and have a good day. Also, one other thing I want to add about doing personal videos like this, you know, some would never do it, but as human beings, I think that it's a good thing to show our vulnerabilities. And as a writer, that's something that I often do in my writing. So I'm going to do that in my videos as well. I don't think that, you know, we should hide or be ashamed of things that happen to us in our life like this. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. And if you can share it, you know, more people can relate to it. It might help someone. Nothing to be embarrassed about at all. So it's a good thing to show that you're vulnerable. It just means you're human.